the family and the purpose for which God created it, that there should be continuity. And that's why they had children. They had Abel, Cain and Abel. Even after Abel died, they had other children. And that's what God had designed, so that there will be procreation and families will continue to grow. Now that we have established family and there will be children, there will be parenting that will be involved. So we have two major things now. We have marriage and we have children, and there will be parenting. So between husband and wife, there will be relationships. And once you have relationships, there will be bound to be issues. So issues are not things that we wish away. Issues are not things that on their own, they are not bad things when you have issues, when you have trials. The scripture says that trials build us up so that our Christian walk gets better. It is when trials, issues are mismanaged that it will cause us some problem. And within the context of parenting, we know that God's design is that we should raise our children, we should teach our children how to love. It is within the family circle that we teach children how to love. We teach children what love is. And that's why sometimes when you see children who do not have the opportunity that we all have of growing up within a family circle, some of them don't know what love is. And that's why crime in the society is quite high. So, having established this, let's quickly, we have the responsibilities that God has assigned to every one of us, the responsibilities in the family. And we'll find this in Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 5 from verse 21 to 24. The first, verse 21 says that we should submit to one another as unto Christ. So he's talking to man and woman. First of all, you will submit to one another as unto Christ. And he goes further to prescribe what the responsibility of the woman is. Submit to your husband. Sometimes we have difficulty with that word, but that's what the scripture says. Submit to your husband. That's not the focus of our teaching this evening, and we'll just leave it at that. But I couldn't make it. There was traffic. I had to turn, but I made sure that I followed on Zoom. And Deacon SB taught on financial issues. And on Sunday, those of us who were in worship, Pastor taught on the same topic, money, and how it relates to us. And since we are still discussing about family this evening, we are still going to take money issue as one of them, because it's the basic one. Once money issues are not got right within the family, it will affect every other. In fact, it triggers other issues. Once money issues are not handled, if you don't have good perspective of money, it brings other issues into play. So, what are the money issues that we have? Proverbs 21:5. Proverbs 21:5. I hope we are projecting. It says, the plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty. A family that does not plan will fail. Those who fail to plan to fail. That's what we had so much about money last Sunday, and last Wednesday. But there was something when the pastor was teaching that he said that he had decided that in the next 5 years, he has a plan. He's planning for his retirement. That's as related to money. That what he didn't say what and what he would do. But the thing I want to bring out there is I agree with that, and it works. Why I say it works is that I'm retired. But I remember in 1996, I went for a seminar. It was the director of the Navigators Africa from Kenya, and he was teaching. And that seminar was like it was for me. Because all he was saying is that if you're working and there is increase in your salary in your office, before you know it, the money will all disappear. If you were buying a loaf of bread for 200 naira, you start buying 300 naira. It's the same loaf of bread. If you were joining bus, you start calling Uber. If you were going to Wuse to buy shirts, you will change. You will go to a bigger shop. Sometimes, in fact, it is more common in Europe. Shoes that you buy from Marks and Spencer, when you go to some other private shops, it will be double the price, the same thing. But you feel good where you have bought yours. But the point I'm trying to make is that I had 20-year financial plan for my retirement, 1996 to 2016. And my own objective was that at the point of retirement, my unearned income, that's income that I'll get from where I'm not working, should be more than what I get from my last pay. And by God's grace, I achieved it. So when I left office, there was no difference. In fact, it was better for me because the money I was using for transport, I wasn't using it again. So I had more in terms of reserve. So it is good for people to make those kind of in terms of, maybe the ideal one would be joint account between husband and wife. But if it doesn't work, I think the key thing there is full disclosure. Whether you're keeping your separate account, your wife is speaking, but at each point in time, each spouse should know what the other person is earning and what is coming in. And we should make it possible for us to know where the monies are kept. Our lives are not in our hand. Sometimes people die accidentally. Christians, the man does not know where the money is, or you don't even have access to the account, or vice versa. The man dies, the woman cannot access the account of the husband. So it is good to be open. I don't want to dwell so much on finance since it has been handled. But what is the second issues of life? Arguments and fights. Arguments and fights. They are bound to occur in families. And 2 Timothy 2:23 to 24. What does he say? He says, having nothing to do with foolish, ignorant controversies. Have nothing to do with foolish, ignorant controversies. You know that they breed quarrel, and the Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome, but kind to everyone, able to teach patiently and enduring evil. So we have said that there are arguments and fights between husband and wife, sometimes between children, young adults and their parents. But the scripture should guide us. Is actually the issue that is involved. Why does this person believe what he's saying? Why is my spouse so adamant about this issue? When you focus, If there was a teaching I gave the other time, I said the couple, the man, there was an argument or an issue in the family. The man said how he wanted it to be done. The woman had another view. Eventually, it was done the way the wife wanted it, and it didn't work. The man's attitude was that when the wife was so apologetic and apologizing, and he said, no, that I'm praying that next time God will teach me a method to use so that I will be able to convince you of an issue that it was my fault that I couldn't bring out the things the way I had it. So instead of blaming the woman, he was now blaming himself because he couldn't communicate properly. And that's why the wife didn't understand. But if it was, that serves you right, when you will never listen. That people who don't listen, they make mistakes. And that is how most of us address such issues. But the issue of arguments, we have ways of addressing it in families, because those issues will come, and when it is heated up, it's prescribed that we have a timeout. You can return back to the issue when tempers have calmed down. You come back to it and discuss it, and like I said, if you are really Christian couples, when there are issues, just two of you agree. Let's find out what the scripture says about this particular issue. And I have said that you don't need to know where it is in the Bible. Technology has made things easy for us. Just say, husband and wife fighting. What are relevant Bible verses on husband and wife fighting? You will get up to, some will tell you 50 verses on husband and wife fighting. Some will say 25, some will say 12. By the time you go through them, your issue will be resolved. The other one is we should, ab initio, decide in our heart, propose in our heart, that we will be very respectful to one another when we are speaking, when we are communicating. You don't just talk to your spouse anyhow. And that's how to resolve issues on disagreement. There is equally disagreement on parenting. You know, we come from different backgrounds. Sometimes the background we come from, the experience we are bringing in, inform how we want to raise our children. And in some cases, it creates problem in the family, and it becomes an issue, engaging in family issues. And in Genesis, chapter home, women go to school as much